Welcome back, my gentle people. This is Corner Stories, and today we have some sister stories. So let's get into it. My sister's life is falling apart. I, 40F, have been a long-time lurker on Reddit. Never shared my story. This is a typical Reddit story you will hear. But I wanted to scream it to the world. Thank God for Reddit. So, my sister, 43F, Ursula, yes, I am using a villain's name, has always made my life a living hell. She is extremely manipulative and a narcissist. Ursula will be nice to me when she needed anything, but then will ignore me. Growing up, I always thought that we were really good sisters. We did not have the typical sister fights of one being jealous of the other. Now as an adult, when I think about it, I think she has hated me. She would always give me backhanded compliments like, "Your face looks better with your glasses," or "You have a boy crush." "I thought you were a lesbian." "I used to be a tomboy." Growing up, I always strived to be like her. She was everyone's favorite. She was helpful and kind. Or at least that's how she made us believe. She would always make me feel insecure about my looks and people I date. The first boyfriend I had when I was 17. She made me believe that he was not good for me, blah blah. I broke up with him. I know my fault. I moved out of state for college. My sister went to business school while I studied engineering. I would come home from holidays and would still have to hear all her backhanded compliments. When I was 21, I started dating my ex-husband, Jordan. My sister wasting someone else at that time, so I guess her focus didn't fall on Jordan. Also, Jordan was not her type. We dated for 3 years and tied the knot for 4 years. I have been happy with my life. During that time, my sister announces she is pregnant. We all thought she got pregnant by her then boyfriend, Remy. One day, I went to visit her and bring some food for pregnancy. She gave me a key to her place and I went inside without knocking. I had permission from her. The surprising thing I saw was Jordan's shoes outside. I went inside her bedroom because I was feeling a bit suspicious. And yeah, you guessed it. They were but naked. Long story short, I divorced Jordan. I was still in pain and very devastated. My parents supported me, but their focus shifted way more towards my sister and Jordan. Yes, she was pregnant with his child. It was painful to see them together. I never got a sorry from either of them. They were like, "Shit happens." I moved away from home. 8 years ago, I got a contract to work in England. I moved there. It was a fresh start of my life. I met Peter, who was a single dad. We fell in love and got married and have a son together. I don't have contact with my sister. I have very low contact with my dad, who gives me all the insight. Jordan and Ursula got married and had 2 more kids. That's all I knew about them until recently. Jordan cheated on Ursula. And they are having a nasty fight. The cherry on top is that 2 of their kids is not Jordan's. So Ursula hasn't been faithful at all. My dad told me it is a mess. Jordan and Ursula will get a divorce, but she is pressing for alimony. I hung up the phone and made myself a drink. I am glad I am thousands of miles away from all that drama. My mom had called me too and said that she needs me. I am not sure if I will go or not. As much as I enjoy seeing Ursula's life going to hell, I am not sure if I want to engage in that drama. Edit, since people are curious and want to know everything, I wanted to add more details. My sister was cheating on Remy. Remy was a really sweet guy. He was very devastated when she heard my sister is not pregnant with his child, rather it was Jordan's. Remy moved on and had a wonderful wife afterwards. I still follow him on Instagram. My parents were mad at Ursula. But she is manipulative. #TCH convinced everyone that Jordan coerced her and that he would divorce me if she didn't have sex with him. She made it seem like she is saving my marriage by fucking my husband, lol. Classic. I got married in London. My relatives couldn't come because of the long distance, but my father did. Mom couldn't come because at that time she had a back surgery. Edit 2, editing again, because people have this misconception that my parents were bad. No, they were not bad. They were normal human. I also understand they were in a tough spot. I mean, you can't just expect a parent to choose between 2 kids. Besides, they were going to be grandparents and cannot leave my sister alone. Yes, she is a TCH. But they never let her get scot-free. My parents supported me in my divorce and paid for my post-divorce therapy. They cannot cut off Ursula entirely because she was pregnant. My dad and mom have a strained relationship with her and Jordan. They haven't disowned them because of their kids. My dad refused to walk Ursula down the aisle at her wedding, which I did not attend. I did keep them in contact after I moved to England. They were supportive of me. The reason my mom couldn't come to my wedding, as I mentioned, she had a back surgery. My mom is in her 60s. So she has a lot of health issues. My dad attended. My mom hardly could fly, but she did visit me after my honeymoon. She was devastated because she couldn't meet my son because flying was difficult, and then we had COVID. I am going to my hometown for some business. I would have gone either way regardless of the phone call. I haven't seen my mom and dad for 4 years now. I miss them. I do hate my sister, but I do not hate my parents. Some comments where OOP clarifies her parents' side. I think I gave the wrong impression of my parents. They are not bad people. Yes, they love both of their kids. But I don't think they sidelined me. My dad and Ursula's relationship is still strained. He is only involved because of the grandkids. My mom as well. And I never demanded to cut her off because she needed them, but I kept my distance. They still hate Jordan and Ursula. My dad refused to walk her down the aisle when she married Jordan. I distanced myself for my own reason. I took a job in UK and traveled Europe, which I always wanted to do. I am settled in my life with my 4-year-old son and husband and my stepdaughter. My mom and dad are still in touch with me. I haven't gotten a chance to meet mom in 3 years because of COVID and other shit. I might have to visit my hometown now because of a project, and also I miss them. I don't blame mom. She had a surgery. It was difficult for her to move. She was on video chat the whole ceremony. She and I haven't met in 4 years. I guess she misses me a lot. I miss her too. Update: I have landed on the soil of my home country with my husband and son. My mom and dad received me from the airport. I was so happy to meet them after so many years. Their faces look pale as if they haven't eaten or slept for a long time. My mom was happy to meet my husband and kid. Especially my kid because she hasn't met him. I asked them not to tell my sister that I am here. I am only here for a few weeks and then I will be gone. I am currently staying with my aunt. Now on to some insights about my sister. My mom said she is living with her along with her kids. I got some details on my sister. She was having an affair with her former boss, who is married, and those 2 kids are actually his. My sister got a beating from the boss's wife. From what I am hearing, the company her boss works in actually belongs to boss's father-in-laws. So yeah, her boss is going to be jobless. And my sister has switched jobs way before this happened, but the affair continued. But because of all this drama, she is literally on the edge to lose her new job too, because the company's owner is good friends with boss's wife. So you can imagine the kind of quicksand she put her foot to. Jordan has quit his job too. Because he is adamant on not paying my sister alimony and not wanting to pay child support for the kids that belong to the boss. He will be suing the boss for child support as well. They constantly fight a lot. Jordan is probably going mad because of it, according to my mom. And he was also having an affair with his coworker. My mom wants to kick my sister out, but because of her kids she cannot. She hates her, but she doesn't want to punish her kids because they are innocent. Honestly, I feel bad for those kids too. They do not deserve such mess of parents. Also, just so you know, my parents aren't bad. They have supported me a lot. The only reason they still talk to my sister Ursula because of her kids. I feel bad for mom because she only has few days, and along with her illness she probably will be too sick to deal with this. I know my sister will somehow know I am here, but I am prepared for that as well. I do not want to see her because I know I will be dragged into her drama. But I will enjoy few weeks I have with my husband and kid. And now we will move on to story 2. I'm suing my sister for a poster her son destroyed. My sister brought her kids over 2 weeks ago. In my office I have a vintage Marvel poster signed by Stan Lee and the artists of the poster. The poster is over 30 years old. Her son saw this and thought it was really neat and wanted me to give it to him. I tried being diplomatic but let him know that wouldn't happen. For certain reasons, my office door locks behind me and you need keys to open it. This is important. Fast forward the next day. We're going to the park and I can't find my keys. We're looking around the house and I hear her daughter yell out, "Oh no!" And my sister and I go running. Her son has opened my office and climbed on the desk to get the poster down. In doing it he managed to tear it in half. I'm furious. This poster is not only irreplaceable, I got it signed with my now deceased grandfather. It has a lot of sentimental value for me. My sister completely blew this off. Hell, she even started giggling when her daughter said, "Oh no," the second time because she thought it sounded cute. She didn't offer me anything, even an apology. Her argument is that I should have had my keys on me because I should have somehow expected that her son would try to take it down from the wall. Dad and wife are firmly in my camp. Dad recognized how important this was to me because it was only a few days before he suddenly passed away and was the last thing we did together. My mom and sister are acting like it's no big deal. Sister ghosted me when I texted her asking about compensating me for the poster. In case anyone is wondering, when we moved into my house, we had the poster appraised at $3,000 due to the condition and rarity of this particular poster. I was informed after Stan Lee's death, it went up but we didn't have it reappraised. This particular one does go on eBay and unsigned fetch north of $2,000. When I served her, my mom called me up telling me it was no big deal and she said she found another poster on eBay, and when I saw the link I realized it was completely different, and wasn't signed, or anything like that. It wasn't even the same year. Now sister is complaining to mom that I'm being mean for going after her and not taking her offer and instead making her pay for it. She thinks I should just let this go because kids will be kids, so Ida here? Edit, since this has been raised in a few comments, yes, the poster was framed. It was professionally mounted in a frame. It was not tacked to a wall or anything like that. Update, mom is now in my corner. We hadn't really spoken about this much as I was pretty angry about things. She didn't realize that it was this one particular poster and she knew how much it meant to me. Right now she's trying to convince my sister of the seriousness of this. Update 2, sister responded to the filling. Her argument is basically, it's really mean that he's coming after me for a poster. I offered to buy him another one but he said no, so I shouldn't have to pay anything. I've heard from dad that her husband is trying to convince her that this isn't going to go well for her and to come to a resolution. It's not even a money thing, she does well and I'm not trying to destroy her. Update 3, the reality of this is setting in for sister. Her husband contacted me last night asking about repair costs and what I thought was fair compensation for this. He was really apologetic about this right now. I told him that it wasn't even a money thing for me, it was sister's behavior towards me about this. It's what the poster symbolizes for me. I'm looking at repair costs now. However, update 4, well, I thought this would be dramatic but it really wasn't. We did the court appearance via video conference. Judge was not hearing any of my sister's hemming and hawing about this. I was expecting to get the repair costs. They weren't cheap, that's for sure. I had 2 estimates, and she didn't want to pay either. The judge had to tell her straight out, offering to replace something with an appraised value that it had with something that isn't even in the same ballpark is unacceptable. I got the full appraised value as the judge considered it the cost of replacement. Sister more or less cut the call as fast as she could. Got a call from her husband, again, asking if I want a check. Later that night sister called me and finally apologized for her and my nephew's behavior. I told her I'm okay with it now but she needs to understand why I'm so angry. She said she finally did when the judge laid it out. I guess this is it for this one. Not the best outcome but an outcome. I figure I'll get the poster back from repair early next year. Story 3. Not supporting my girlfriend's sister. Some info, I have been with my GF27F for 5 years. She loves her sister a ton, which is a good thing as I believe supporting and helping your siblings as long as it doesn't ruin your own life. You will understand why I say this later on. We just put down a mortgage on a house in the suburbs of a large city. I 28am work in tech as a software developer with a master's degree in computer science. I make quite a lot of money, so money issues never arose. GF doesn't work and does chores cooking in the house, both agreed on this. I was gonna propose to GF next year. But a problem arose about 2 years ago. For the last 2 years, probably longer, GF has been sending money to her younger sister, let's call her Emily. Emily got pregnant at 20 years old. Emily works as a waitress. The father is bouncing from job to job. Emily says that he is very lazy. He will disappear hours at a time without telling Emily where he's going or what he's doing. Emily has asked my GF on several occasions for money. My GF, being the nice and sweet person she is, says yes all the time. It started off as paying for diapers, no problem. Then baby clothes, which also no problem. Then daycare, which I just brushed off. I talked with GF saying we can't always pay for everything and that helping out for a couple things is okay but not everything. GF reassured me and said that it would be stopping soon once they get their feet picked up, which is fine. One day I hire a financial planner. The next day I get an email saying my account has sent approximately $50,000 for the last 10 months. and have around $20,000 sitting in my account. I talk with my GF and she apologizes and says she knew that I wouldn't want to keep sending her sister money and how she just cares of her sister. We've been paying for everything. Insurance, rent, car payment, daycare, clothing for all three, dinners, dates, going out expenses. It is partly my fault because I never check my bank account. GF shows me text messages between her and Emily saying she needs the money. I then noticed a pattern where Emily would say, "Hey, can you send me $, I don't have money for," and of course GF says yes. I brush it off and GF says she won't send any more. The next day GF sends her $1,000 because they needed car repairs. I talk with GF and we get into an argument where she says she will always help her sister no matter what. I understand to an extent. We argue trying to understand each other's POV. As stated before, we had $20,000 and now we're down to $19,000, and then how about the next time? And the next time after that? On top of our own expenses. GF then decided that she needs some time alone and that she will be at her mother's for the time being. Now I'm all alone in the house I thought I would live with the girl of my dreams. Edit, March 21st, next day. Thank you everyone for the support. I never thought that my situation would blow up to thousands of people. I'll try to answer some questions at best. I make around $150,000 a year as a lead software developer. As someone who has no kids, dogs, or any major responsibility besides myself and a GF, I never checked my account. She comes from a cultural family where family is everything and money is just paper. She texted me earlier saying how it should always be family first and that money didn't mean anything without family and how we should help close family like siblings in their time of need. At this point I told her I needed time to myself and told her not to come back until I'm ready to talk. I apologize if my sentences aren't making sense as whiskey is my only friend right now. I also forgot to mention we started dating before all this money came into play, so I trusted her. Another edit, I'm more sad by the betrayal than the money. Money will come back but time will never come back. 5 whole years, my proposal plan, my life plan, my future kids I dreamt about with her just gone. All the things we've said to each other. All the late night wine drunk times we spent, all the dates, all the flowers I gave her. I really tried with all my power to be the best man she can have. I would have trusted her with my life, and what do I get back? $50,000 gone. Final update, 8 days later, she is now my ex. We met at a local coffee shop and I told her that things wouldn't work out for us and she went absolutely ballistic. She caused a scene begging me to not end it. It did hurt me to see her like this, but after a couple weeks to give it some thought, I would not want a wife who is a liar and one I couldn't trust financially. I left a $100 bill on the table and left, but she followed me down to my car. She begged and told me she wouldn't send any more money to her sister and how she would do anything for us to be together. It was hard, but I stayed strong. She picked up her belongings the other day and I almost had to call the cops because she wouldn't leave. She first tried everything from sexual favors, begging, crying, then it turned to screaming that I ruined her life, to even saying without her I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now because of her support. I stayed strong, and when she left I just broke down sobbing. For those wondering, I'm not gonna press charges because all I want is for her to leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't ever want to see her face again. The money will come back as it's just me, a house, and 2 paid-off cars. It does get lonely, so I'm thinking of getting a puppy, a Doberman for those wondering. Thank you everyone for all the suggestions, and a lot of you really had me thinking about my decisions, and I definitely learned a lot of valuable lessons. Goodbye and thank you. And that is the end of the story. That's it guys, this is where I will leave you. I hope you enjoyed the stories I had for you. I certainly enjoyed them. Please be sure to drop a like or a comment, and it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I will see you. Corner Stories signing off.